Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Golden Point UAE, and as usual, it's me and Shazzy here today. How are you doing?
Hey everybody, good, thank you, James.
You are looking a tad different today.
I
Shazzy.
know. Well, I've got my, I sell real estate as well,
Oh,
James.
you do?
Just on the
you
side.
never mentioned.
No, I never mentioned.
No.
Well, let me go into detail. I'm just joking. No, guys, I'm actually today dressed up because of the guest that we have on. It's not that the guest isn't a paddle player. He's a paddle player. But today we're going to be talking about paddle and the corporate world. Remember, we said we were going to talk about a lot of different subjects, but about people here, about the local community. And this guy, of course, he's part of the Shazzy's community because all the best players are part of the Shazzy's community. But we're here to talk about how paddle and the corporate world come together, paddle and, let's say, human capital come together. And so I'm dressed in my corporate way.
Dressed to impress.
Yes.
Funny enough, I'm also wearing something related to our guest today.
You are too.
Because in my very famous and popular scheme of events with my shirts, I have this one, which is from the Fujairah Creative City tournament that I played recently with our friend Jorge Barrioso.
He's my friend, and everyone's calling me for Jorge's number, and James is one of them.
So we played it. It's basically a tournament that was hosted by the free zone where I have my business registered. So again, it was a very good example of people connecting through sport from a business world.
Right.
So I got to meet a lot of different people from different industries,
Right.
and it was a really, really nice day. So thank you, Fujairah Creative City. It was a great event.
James, before we go on, I want you to tell us and tell the people, what do you do? What's your business? Quickly, 30 seconds. Hit it. Elevator pitch.
No.
Guys, he sells private jet chartering services.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you need to book a flight on a private jet, call James. You happy, James?
Yeah.
So James, without further ado, let's introduce our first guest.
Our guest today is someone who hasn't just played sport. He's lived it properly. Akbar Khan picked up a tennis racket at 8 years old, trained up to 8 hours a day, and competed nationally. He's seen elite sport up close. But more interestingly, Akbar moved into the corporate world and started asking a bigger question. Why do companies talk about performance but rarely build it the way athletes do? And somewhere along the way, paddle entered the picture. Today, we're going to unpack how elite sport, paddle, and corporate culture all connect and where the companies are missing a massive opportunity. This introduction is brought to you by Rise. Embrace the kombucha magic. Akbar, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. I wanted to start by quoting one of the sentences I've heard you say in the past, which is, I only go to work to make enough money to go play paddle tennis again.
That's 100% true. And first of all, thank you so much, guys, on inviting me on your show. It's a pleasure. I watch it all the time, and it's really adding value to our community.
Thank you. Well, that's nice. I think you're the only one watching, but no, I'm joking. We've got thousands of people watching, but thank you, Akbar. That's very nice of you to say.
And Akbar, I wanted to ask you to start this off. Why is paddle so addictive?
Well, I was recently speaking at a session, and it wasn't planned, but when I said the sentence, or when I started my session by saying that I'm a paddle tennis player who goes to work so that I can play paddle regularly, I connected it to what I do, which is learning. And we, as people who've been playing different sports for majority of our life, we've been thinking, how has paddle become so addictive? And the answer is, it's the faster acquisition of skill.
Right.
Anybody that walks onto a paddle court walks off saying, hey, I can play this.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's what makes it different from sports like tennis or well, pretty much any other sport, right? Whatever your level is, as long as the 4 players on court kind of share that same level, everyone has a great time, right?
Yeah, I think paddle came at such a mature period of life because it is so well structured. In tennis, you can end up playing against a player who cannot hold a racket in a tournament, and you'd be like, okay. So the categorization of players is so well structured that you always end up matching your level and ending up, enjoying the game.
Wow, that's interesting. So you're saying paddle is actually better structured than tennis? I thought with the years and years of tennis, I thought it was more structured.
Well, in tennis, the structure is either you're playing seniors or you're playing intermediate or advanced.
Right.
Now, in intermediate, you could have a
big
lot of
scale,
variation
okay.
of levels. And again, you could, in intermediate, come up against a 17, 18-year-old who would be training every day, but because he's not an advanced player yet, and you could be, the levels are not that well structured.
So you heard it here first. Paddle is better structured than tennis. Thank you very much, Akbar.
Welcome. At the risk of risking my tennis membership.
Exactly. And it's more fun. And Akbar, another thing I wanted to touch on is growth mindset. This is something you've spoken a lot about, and this obviously will connect later on when we start talking about how paddle and the corporate world connect. But first, I'd like to break down, in your own words, what that growth mindset is and how it helps you in the sports world.
So, growth mindset is where a person always believes that they can be better, is someone who can grow, can improve, can be fitter, can learn new skills. And a fixed mindset is where someone says that, oh, my backhand is weak, or my willpower is not very high, or this is my weakness, and they limit themselves psychologically by saying that this is how I was born, or this is how I am. Whereas a growth mindset person says that I can be better, I can work harder, I'm sure there are tools and techniques that I can use, that I can improve. So a growth mindset person has a much better learning agility, and therefore, even if they're playing paddle or if they're in the workforce, they will always look to improve, look for improvements, look to do things better, and therefore have a clear advantage over somebody who accepts their psychological barriers.
So what you're saying is there's the first step, which is identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and that's where the growth mindset comes in, right? Understanding that, hey, I can get better at this, as opposed to, well, I guess my backhand is bad and it will always be bad, right? Is that kind of where we're going?
That's very true.
Okay.
Self-awareness,
Yeah.
that's where everything begins.
Right.
Improvement, growth mindset, everything begins with self-awareness and feedback.
So you're saying I could still make it to pro?
100%.
Well, James, I certainly could. I'm not sure about you. By the way, what about, because I always say I'm the best, and whether it's in paddle or it's in work or whatever, is that growth or is that like
Stupidity.
affirmations? Are they different? Are they similar?
Well, where does growth comes from? It comes from affirmations, right?
There you
It comes with ambition. It comes with vision. It comes with, creating that mental picture in your mind that I can do it. I will do it.
Right.
So that's where it comes from. So yes, I would rather recommend somebody saying I can do it and I will do it and I am the best, rather than instead of saying that, doubting themselves.
All right, because I have this problem. So, and we've spoken about this in a previous episode, we talked about the psychology of paddle, right? And I'm someone who, I'm very aware of my strengths and weaknesses, very kind of rational and put it all in boxes. But I'm someone who will struggle to positively reaffirm myself that, you know what, I can turn this around. Like mentally, I'm like a roller coaster. What advice would you give someone like me to start improving in that sense?
Create small goals.
Right.
So my advice would be to have smaller targets, smaller goals, and when you start achieving those one by one, you will start a momentum of positivity that will actually make you believe that you can get on to bigger things. As we say in cricket, if somebody scores a century, it doesn't start with the big shots. It starts with singles.
Right.
Smaller achievements. So I think that's extremely important. If you start looking at your target in the enormity of it, it seems like a mountain. But even people that climb mountains take steps.
Right. So rather than focusing on I'm 5 love down, it's let's get the next point, right?
So I'll give you an example. In the recent tournament, I was 4 love down against James.
Was it when? Where was this?
James and Cesar. Okay, it's a
Shazzy
social.
Slam Jam.
No, it was a social.
Oh,
It was a
okay,
social.
okay.
Yeah, I remember.
We went 1 love down, 2 love down, 3 love down, 4 love down. All I told my partner was,
Play
"Listen,
everything on James.
just play every point. Just focus on the
Yeah.
point. Enjoy the point. Don't worry about the results." We won 6-4. So I'm just saying this happens so many times in my life.
Can I just
where-
say, like,
yeah.
sorry, but why is it always these examples have to have me involved in them?
No, hold on a second.
He's
I was
coming
just
up.
about to tell you my example. Okay?
Is it when you beat
So-
me as well?
No. You weren't involved. Actually, one of the best, how can I put it? One of the highlights of the Shazzy's career was the Masters event that me and Akbar played together. Now, I tell you
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing, and this all comes down to psychology, it comes down to teamwork and so on. But by the way, the pros, they have an agreement from what I've been told that one of them is the captain. One of them talks, the other one listens. Okay?
Right.
We were playing a tournament, ISD, Masters event. You remember Akbar.
ISPT, yeah.
And I said to him, Akbar, you are the captain. Because I can dominate. I'm a dominator. Okay? But I said, Akbar, you are the captain.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, it was a really amazing experience because, and we won it. We won the whole thing. The Masters, I don't know,
Yeah.
plus whatever it was at the time,
ISPT.
plus 45. But the whole time, James, he was smooth, he was calm, he was reinforcing, and we followed the game plan. And guess what that game plan included? I was playing on the right.
Was it keep the ball alive?
Keep the ball alive, but keep lobbing.
Yeah.
Keep putting the opponents back. Come forward. Take the net. The basics.
Patience. Yeah.
When you execute the basics,
Yeah.
you win paddle games, paddle matches, paddle tournaments. And you know, the other thing, you know, we're talking about growth and so on, and you are you're part of human development of a big company, right, Akbar? We talked about this also before, and it's kind of different subject, but we talked about coaching being so important. Now, I believe I've been a professional for over 30 years, 35 years in the workforce. I'm a semi-professional paddle player, okay? And I've done other sports like endurance sports, triathlon, and so on. The main point I'm trying to get to is everybody needs a coach, whether it's on the paddle court or even in the business world.
That's
And that's what you do, right?
Very true.
Even the best business people in the world have coaches. They go to people like Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins talks about removing limiting beliefs. Am I right?
Completely.
It's the same thing on the paddle court.
Even Roger Federer needs a coach. Every professional needs a coach. Why? Because you need a second person to observe. You need somebody to give you feedback, genuine, authentic feedback. Your vision of what's happening versus somebody else's vision. Somebody you respect, somebody who has good maturity over what you're doing, what you want to do. It makes a huge difference. Something that I've started doing recently is I'm recording every match of mine. You know, I've noticed a huge difference. Because my visualization of how I used to hit a shot, how I used to execute a point versus me going back home and watching that again and again and realizing, oh my God.
My
you know?
problem is when I watch the video, I'm like, ooh, that's
Yeah.
what I look like.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on court, I think I look amazing.
Me too. I feel like I'm gliding and I'm jumping in the air like 5 meters above ground level.
I think I'm moving around like prime Chingoto.
So that's another reality check, right?
I watch the video, I'm like, ooh. Because the whole person's like, oh, let me start uploading a couple of videos. And it's like, they don't look good enough. This is embarrassing.
Like, I feel like I'm taking big strides, like 2 meter strides, but it's like little, I don't know,
Shazzy
little
legs.
duck. Balancing sports and health. Rise brings kombucha.
Acting as a probiotics drink, it definitely helps you with the muscle recovery with no additional sugar, no carbonation. It's the perfect gut drink for you. So guys, remember, drink Rise and embrace the kombucha magic.
So, for example, one of the most leading leadership thinkers and executive coaches in the world is Marshall Goldsmith. He's the best out there. You know how much he charges per hour? $100,000 per hour.
Not bad.
It's my level.
That's
Not yours,
how,
James.
That's
This
how
is my level.
famous he is. More than 27 to 30 books. He's got certification programs. You know, you got to be Marshall Goldsmith certified. You can become a coach like him. But you know what he has? He has somebody from his team call him every day at 10 o'clock in the night and say, did you do what you were supposed to do today? And what would you do differently? What can you do better? He has an employee who calls him up at 10.
That's the job.
That's the job.
Do they need
James,
person?
James,
I
can you
call
call
him
me?
every day.
Can you call me every evening,
Mate,
please?
for 100K? I'll call you whenever you want me to call you.
Great.
Yeah.
So that's
Amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Right, so now I'd like to connect because I think we started talking about how, Shazi was mentioning that every business
Everybody
leader needs a coach, etc. So I want to make that transition now into the corporate world. And obviously you started your life and your career in sports, and then you made that transition yourself.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what is needed to kind of excel in that side. And I would really like to draw your attention to 2010. And a bit of an experiment you went through with, and I would like you to explain to us how that went. What happened? What did you do? And what was the outcome?
Playing competitive sports, I didn't realize at that time, but gave me a real head start in the corporate world. Playing competitive sports at a young age, it talks to you about, it teaches you preparation, it teaches you strategy, dealing with failure, work ethics. It tells you how you can work hard. You know, I mean, we used to train for 8 hours a day when we used to be preparing for our tennis tournaments. So these are real strategies, preparation, traveling, interacting with people. You're doing this in your teens, even before you've hit the corporate world. And a lot of people, they start working and then they experience working in a team, traveling, having meetings, planning for something, doing preparation for it. And people who've been playing sports for 10 years before that, they have a real head start. They have a sense of maturity that they arrive with in the corporate world. So yes, I was, in 2010, I was early in my career, and I noticed that as an organization, it was extremely performance driven. It had a great culture. It was young. It was doing so well, but there was something missing. Something that really could take it to the next level when it came to employee experience and employee engagement. And I felt one of the biggest unifiers amongst countries, within companies, is playing sports. And you know why? Because it takes us back to our childhood. A lot of
That's a very good point. I'd not thought about it like that. Because I always used to think sport connects because we're all kind of rowing in the same direction, right? We're all trying to reach the same point. But that's a very good observation.
And again, the physiological, as you said, it's called the happy hormones. The release of endorphins, the dopamine, that you get.
So true.
So
especially with paddle, so many endorphins. I want to go now. I miss my endorphins.
Exactly.
We should have recorded this just playing a match.
We should do that, by the way,
true.
one time. Yeah.
That's true. So
Sorry,
so
carry on,
so to create this vision for the organization that we need to have a sporting culture. We need to have something called a sports league that takes place over 5 to 6 months across 18 to 20 different activities across the group. So we're a group of companies across the group, and it was something that was difficult to envision for people that have never played competitive sports and didn't let's say have the clear direction or clarity on how it would be executed. So I was fortunate enough to get a seat at the table and present to the chairman of the company. And I was given the go-ahead because we are a people-first organization. So I was given the go-ahead to execute. And
what did that execution look like? What did you get approval for?
So we got the approval to have two key events, which one was the sports league, and the second was to participate at the Dubai Corporate Games. The Dubai Corporate Games at that time was a very important event where 50 to 60 companies would come with 3,000, 4,000 employees, happening over 3 days. And from swimming to tennis to cricket, to every sport that go-karting, every sport that you could imagine, golf, that you could imagine, companies would participate, and companies would prepare very seriously. They would have a nutrition coach, they would have sports coaches and everything. So we arrived at this event with the first 35 people, and we were like 48 ranked, but we were like, this is how it works. We need to go back and prepare. And that also speaks about how we did it. We formed a committee, we formed sports captains, we created a website, we enrolled people in it, we hired coaches for every event for those 3-4 months. So there was tennis coaching happening, there was swimming coaching happening. So as a result of that, the next year that we went, we were much better prepared, and we were number 8. We were 8th ranked. So then we worked harder, we prepared more, and we went back the next year to the corporate games, and we were ranked 2nd. And,
wow, amazing.
And that was amazing for a company that had just arrived three years into the corporate games, and we prepared harder. Pepsi had been winning it for 5 years in a row.
Wow.
And then for the next year and the year after and the year after, we were number 1 ranked. So that was a tremendous achievement, because with so much success happening, the whole organization started recognizing it as a major movement. They started recognizing this as a great success. And for the first time, we had an employee engagement initiative that was bringing people from different group companies together. So you had people from all the divisions getting together, playing, senior management, junior management. It just brought everybody on the same side and at the same level, and celebrating success together, working hard, going for practice sessions, and physically getting better and better. So, from an employee well-being perspective, from a health and fitness perspective, you're engaging the employee for over 5 to 6 months in the best weather. And, in some cases, you're teaching them new sports. So it's not like the only ones that can play the game will go. It's also, you'll have people who want to start playing tennis, who want to learn swimming, who want to learn coaching. So they're also learning, and it was a movement, So that's something that I'm very proud of how I brought my sporting legacy into a corporate environment. And I remember once we had this huge celebration, and I was sitting right at the back, and the CHRO came and he tapped on my hand, on my shoulder, and he said, "One man's dream."
Nice.
One man's dream.
I love that. I got goosebumps as you said that.
And you took it seriously, right? So, I mean, some companies are just doing like a team building day, and you built an entire sports division. And you succeeded, right?
Exactly.
3 years in a row.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So that's something very proud of.
So Akbar, is paddle the right corporate sport?
Or you're just trying to find an excuse so you can play more paddle.
And how do you bring paddle in? Okay, we know you're doing other sports, but what about paddle?
I think paddle is a fantastic sport. And why? Because we answered that, earlier as well, or we all know what the answer is, but let's spell it out. There is a clear categorization of levels in paddle. The acquisition of skill from learning to playing is instantaneous. You can start playing paddle from the first day and walk off that court saying, I love this game, I can play this game. So when something is easy to learn, that means that it is attractive to all populations. It is attractive to every level, every age, plus the community that you get. So you also get connected to a community. It's in a much more confined space. It's in a glass box, which is watched by people around you. So you're not playing isolated in some corner where nobody can watch. Not many people can show up.
I think that's the reason Shazzy plays.
No.
It's
He was
because
born
people-
for it.
Because
Sorry.
people
Shazzy was
can
born for
see
paddle.
him. They can see him.
But first of all, I want to clarify one thing. To get to my level is not overnight.
No,
It's years.
It's that same morning,
Yes.
right?
Okay, it's years.
Yes.
Okay, and look, we know, right? Like it's an easy sport to get into, but I want to know, like, how do you use it as a tool for your business and so on?
As an organization, we've been sponsoring paddle for the last 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So the NAS
Of
tournaments.
course, of course,
Altai,
I've
Altai
seen it.
Motors has
Yes,
been there
yes,
for a
yes,
long
yes.
time. So paddle is something we've been aware of, for a long time. So what we do is we partner with paddle clubs. We conduct coaching sessions. We conduct tournaments. So this has now become one of our key events. We actually conduct 2 or 3 of these in a year. In the past, we would only do once in a year, but this year, for example, we've planned to do it twice, and therefore, everybody who comes to play paddle from our organization, most of them are first timers, but they don't remain first timers after they've been introduced to the game.
It's so addictive,
It
right?
is, yeah.
Exactly.
And what kind of results do you see as a company by investing in these tournaments and events with paddle?
It brings people together.
Yeah.
It connects people from different functions of the organization. Any large organization has multiple departments, multiple functions, multiple layers, and when you bring them all on the same pitch or on the same court, it's just amazing that no matter how junior you are, if you've got talent, you've got skill, you get appreciated, you get known, and suddenly you'll be like, hey, that guy, yes, in that team, oh, he's amazing, he's a great football player. What does he do? He's a driver. Ah, okay, great. Who's that guy? Oh, he's a cleaner. And the next thing you know, he's rubbing shoulders with the GMs. He's saying hi to them. Suddenly he's being recognized for talent beyond his professional qualifications and getting extra opportunities as a result of that. So I think it's tremendous that you get to display your talent beyond your work, and you get recognized for it, and you can build networks and communities within organizations as well.
So it kind of balances the power ratio, right?
Exactly. It levels the playing field.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice. And do you think paddle has opened all the doors it needs to open to the corporate world so it can maximize that kind of social engaging nature that it has?
I think there is much more potential and scope. It has.
Yeah.
It has to a large extent. I think some progressive organizations have really taken to paddle and built a community and a culture around it. But I think it is a great opportunity for more organizations to really see the power of paddle and take it to the next level within the organizations. I think organizations should make paddle courts in their facilities. Paddle courts don't take that much space at all.
Yeah.
They should make
High
paddle courts.
ceilings, high ceilings.
Exactly. and they should definitely encourage employees. I think it will have a tremendous effect on the employee well-being, for sure. People will get fitter. They say racket sports increase the lifespan of an individual by 9 years. It's the highest amongst any other sport. So I think if you're really focused on employee well-being in a fun way, I think paddle can really impact. And imagine this. Have you ever calculated how many sick days your employees take? Right? So if your employees take, say for example, 10,000 sick days in a year, right? And if you introduce paddle and fitness, and that can come down by 9,000, even just 10%, if that can happen, imagine what the cost to the company is, or the cost savings to the company is, by having a more fitter workforce.
I'll tell you something. If I worked for a company that had a paddle court, I wouldn't leave. I just worked there
Stay there.
forever. So that's another way of having employee retention, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And who's your favorite partner?
Come on.
I can tell you
Be
something.
honest, mate, be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
You
definitely.
don't have to say
yeah,
me, okay?
I'll be
I know you
honest.
wanna
If
say
you
me.
say him, I will walk out.
Yeah,
no,
I'll be
it's
honest.
not going to be me. Be honest.
So I won't say who my favorite paddle partner is, because I'm nobody to decide who my favorite partner should
But no,
be.
yes, you are. It's
Because-
your favorite part.
Yeah,
No one else
okay.
can
Oh,
choose
he's
that.
being politically correct
Yeah,
now.
yeah, screw
Corporate
that.
guy.
Screw
Corporate
that.
guy. I'm wearing the suit today.
So
We want
I
the
want,
juice.
Yeah, I want to talk about the experience that I had with Shazzy playing that senior tournament.
We don't have the time, mate.
No, I'm being very honest about this. Okay.
Here we go.
Shazzy messaged me and he said that, do you want to partner up? And I said, yes, definitely. We had our discussion and he said, one has to be the captain and everything.
So he suggested this?
The what? The,
The
captain?
captain
Yes,
thing?
yes, for sure, for sure.
Well
He
done, Shazzy.
suggested it, and that was hats off to him. Amazing that he kind of, had that humility to say, listen, go
Yeah,
ahead and
yeah,
you
yeah.
tell us and how we should do this. And we kept talking to each other. We kept motivating each other. We didn't care about the results. We cared about the process. And I told Shazi one thing: you have every shot in the book. This is something that is very true. I stand by it. You have every shot in the book. It doesn't mean that you need to play that.
Yes.
You know,
Why
it
are you
will.
laughing?
Oh,
No, I'll tell you why I'm laughing. I'll tell you why I'm laughing. Because I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just I would have said it differently.
Okay. Okay.
Because in my opinion, Shazi always plays the hardest possible shot.
That's true.
right?
That's
Which is
true.
exactly the same.
And
it's just
that's
he said it in a
because he's
much nicer
talented,
way,
and it's
right?
because he's
Yeah.
got every shot in the
Yeah.
book. So he tries to go for the flash.
Yes,
That's his
yeah,
personality as well, right?
Exactly.
I know.
So you
But
know,
your way's a lot more diplomatic. Right?
so look, I really want to say this, you know, and I'm telling you, I could see how hard he worked to focus,
Yeah.
and I knew that people would try and get under his skin, and they did.
Yeah.
They tried to come and tell me as well, oh my God, you and Shazi. And I said, yes, me and Shazi. And they tried to get under his skin. They tried to target him. And I said, Shazi, as long as you stay cool and focused, I'm telling you, we will do it. And we did. And that was for me also a very satisfying win, because Shazi and I, you know, beat some really good teams, and we beat them with just focus, positivity, encouraging each other and motivating each other.
How do you see the principles of Padel connecting to the corporate world, as you've been on both sides of the net?
This is my favorite question, and the reason behind it is because we are at a milestone in the corporate world. AI has arrived, you know, and it's a huge milestone. Change is happening very, very fast. Learning agility is the most important skill. The learning velocity, the speed at which people can learn, is extremely critical. The lifespan of a skill in the past used to be 25 years. The lifespan of a skill now is 2 years.
Wow.
So what do you need? You need a corporate athlete. You need a corporate athlete that continues to stay fit, continues to learn, continues to practice, take coaching. All of those principles that are there in Padel. You need to continue coaching, you need to continue training, you need to continue playing tournaments, you need to continue getting feedback, being coached. All of these elements are, you know, I see this as a clear transition to the corporate world as well, because this is exactly the kind of corporate athlete that I'm trying to build, you know, and that we need. We need employees that are always saying that, what can I learn? How can I improve? Where is my coach? Is it an AI coach? You know, do I do AI role play scenarios? How do I do that? But for that, the mindset has to be of an athlete. You can't have the mindset of a traditional corporate employee who learned certain skills and was hired to do that job, and that job would remain the same for the next 25 years. No, jobs are changing, skills are becoming obsolete, and therefore we need a corporate athlete. And I see Padel as that fresh injection of enthusiasm and energy and game that can be, you know, be replicated to the corporate world.
Always be learning,
Always be learning.
you know, and
The corporate athlete is a great analogy, by the way.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm 50 years old. I've been in business for 30 years. I've been in sales for 35 years. I'm a sponge, I think this has come from sport into the business world. I'm a sponge. I'm always wanting to learn, always wanting to improve, and this is important for business people, for the employees and athletes.
Completely agree.
Akbar,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on the show. A different angle today, bringing in the corporate world, connected to Padel, connected to sports. It's been amazing, James. I think you will agree
There's
with
been
me.
a very fresh perspective. We've had many different guests and everyone's been amazing, but this kind of jump between sport and corporate world is something that I think is extremely interesting. So
Thank you so
for
much,
sharing.
guys. It was a pleasure, and I really, really enjoy watching your podcast and learning so much about the game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, that's it for this episode with Akbar. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, watch, and subscribe. Watch the show. Give us your feedback and comment as well. Give us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and see you again soon.